Yo, hey guys, how is everyone? It's been a while. We have another interesting and fantastic battle. Before we get into it, thanks for watching stuff. I'm really happy. The first month of doing this 500 views, yeah, it's nothing, but at the same time, it means a lot that people actually watch the stuff. So, today we have a battle where we have Nabataea and Kush defending city in the desert. I think this is Kush's capital. I'm playing as Kush. My ally is playing as Nabataea and fighting off against the Roman and Seleucid armies. Seems Rome and the Seleucids have joined forces together to try and get rid of us. So the Seleucids are bringing forward quite a bit of wall siege equipment to take down the walls. They're bringing 2 units of elephants, armored elephants, and heavy war elephants, cataphracts, and a crap ton of Torok swordsmen. They have a brute force army. They're gonna smash through our lines. Meanwhile, the Romans have a bit more of flexible army. They have Praetorian Guard somewhere. They have Triarii. They have cohorts. They have a heavy army, slow push, slow grind, and kill everything in between. They also brought a bit of legionary cavalry for the mix. From our end, we have a simple army. We have caravan guard. We have elite palace guard, Nabataean heavy archers. My ally brought a couple of pikemen as well. We set up a front line here to try and hold off the square because this would not be able to be good. My ally also brought with him a lot of camel spearmen, and we'll see what that happens with that. And from my end, I have armored shuttle units, Royal Kushite archers, Kushite pikes, a couple of slave infantry. Nothing too sexy, just decent, heavy hitting, ready to go troops. Without further ado, let's start. It starts really fast. So my ally brought his camel cavalry because it's a desert and he's trying to pull them out. At first, he thought he could bring them up here and rush them out from this side. Uh, I think it was mostly a misclick, and then he'll get to that later. From my end, I start repositioning my troops and trying to see where the enemy is going to come from. Now, we put quite a bit of a defense here because in my thoughts, when I saw so many cavalry and so much elephants, yeah, he's definitely going to come through here, break through this side. I was an idiot. I forgot this part. So we're going to see this later, how it plays out. These are the two that we uploaded last week of cartridge, and they held the city of Athens very well, I must say. And Matt has been really great, and hopefully we get to play again sometime soon. And yeah, so let's push forward and see what happens. The Seleucids and the Romans instantly start pushing their forces towards the walls, and you can see automatically they're trying to get the soldiers on top of the walls. The catapult here, I'm trying to take down his war elephants and trying to get them go berserk, maybe run amok through his own troops. He got some really nice melee cavalry. These guys are heavily armored and they're very good in prolonged fights. And meanwhile, his general is a shock cavalry unit, and he's hoping perhaps, since we have quite a few large open spaces, to charge in from behind. So yes, my ally realized that his camel spearmen were coming out from this side. Now he brought a lot. He brought 6 units of camel spearmen here. 6 whole units. This is a lot. Oh, he also brought camel archers. All right, I did not see that. I had no clue during the battle. So camel archers, camel spearmen, he's going outside. The rules that we play these matches on are usually 1 artillery, 2 pike units, and 4 missile units. So missile units counts as any archers, peltasts, slingers, or cavalry missile units. This is most of what the rules of well, Rome 2 multiplayer plays. On this side, my ally. Oh, I was let it sally out. My ally sallied out to try and stop the siege tower from taking the gate. and slow down the enemy long enough that his cavalry can come from the side. Completely missed this. This little fight over here is Juuse. These Rakim Palace guards, they are decent. However, they are facing the wrong way, and this Avocati cohort is going to charge from the back. It's interesting, though. It's a good tactic sometimes to come outside the city wall and fight in front of the gate, because the gatehouse can provide a very good cover, and they're very good covering fire. This is a very good hoplite unit. If it manages to form up, it's hoplite wall, but that was a really good pila throw from the Avocati cohort. They are facing the wrong way, and this charge is going to be devastating on those Rakim Palace guards. They turned the last second. That was brutal. It's a very expensive unit. It's one of the most elite units in the game for Nabataea. Meanwhile, we have the Seleucids. They're already at the walls. They are going to start hitting the walls really quickly. These tortoise, I believe that they're called, bring down walls very fast indeed. However, you cannot really use, you have to stagger their use, otherwise they get glitched out and you're not properly able to bring them in. So that's something you need to keep in mind when you're taking them down. They clipped the unit of Avocati cohort, killing 12 men there, and that is unfortunate for the Avocati cohort. But as you can see, this unit now is just glitched out and it cannot really take down the wall. They're trying to bring down a huge area so they can charge their units in. And over here, I decided to follow suit of my allies' charge, and I brought out my Kushite slave infantry just to slow down his Thorax swordsmen, which were coming on top of the wall. This way, force them to get down, bring my units back in. It's slowing down the enemy. That's what you want. You want to slow down your enemy. You want to keep them on the defensive. You need to control the pace of the battle. Otherwise, you will lose. That's the trick with this game. You control the pace of the battle, you win. Over here, I'm very happy to see he's breaking down this part of the wall. Meaning, if I bring up my archers up here eventually, I would be able to fire uncontested without any military support from his troops, stopping my archers. And I would be able to put a defense here. On this side, the siege tower is slowly catching fire, but unfortunately he commits and gets on top of the wall. At this point, I have my Royal Kushite archers ready, and these are sitting ducks. Torok swordsmen, they're 700 gold. On playing on ultra gold, it's not much of a big deal to bring an army out of them because they're not that expensive and they trade really well pretty much against anything. But it is a free unit. It is a heavy melee infantry. It's something that can grind through pike walls. It's something that has really good pila throws. It's something that's genuinely good. And over here we have the massive camel charge. And they're charging through. He's trying to bring them around and crush this Avocati cohort, which is going into defensive testudo. The charge is devastating. They're completely surrounded, but these are not any troops. They are a Avocati cohort. They're some of the best troops in the game. They take a lot of damage. Yes, they are surrounded, but all of a sudden we have more Avocati cohort. 3 REI coming in. 3 REI, they're pike units. They're mid-age Roman period. They are decent in general, but they are pike units. They have spears, and spears, they destroy any form of cavalry. His legionary cavalry clips the camel archers and starts attacking them. Now these guys, they have very low armor, they're high mobility, they are not meant for prolonged combat, and all of a sudden my ally finds himself in a very desperate situation, trying to save what's left of his cavalry, trying to run out as the trap that he sprung backfired miserably on him, and his camels were being slaughtered. The Avocati cohort barely got any damage. It survived a massive charge, and soldiers, the Roman soldiers, simply got back on their feet, brushed off the dirt, and went straight back at it. They are fantastic troops. They are incredible troops. They know what they're doing. At this point, the camels can do nothing but retreat and run away. They are breaking, they are getting shattered, they're getting shot in the back, and they're being chased down by the legionary cavalry. So basically one third of my allies' army was wiped out with minimal losses from the Romans. However, it did slow down the Romans significantly. Meanwhile, the Seleucids saw the defense I was putting up on this side of the wall. He lost a unit on over here, completely slaughtered it using my archers. So he said, I'm not doing that. I'm not going that way. I'm going down to the center of the battlefield and I'm going to create a battlefield for myself. Now, what they don't know is that we have quite a few troops up here preparing defense. We have 2 units of Nabataean Torx spikes, which I found out very recently. These guys, they're good. They are better than most pikemen. They're heavily armored, they're very strong, and they will take down almost any other units. And it's not just one, but two, and it's an uphill battle. And apart from that, they have Rakim Palace Guard, which also slows down the enemy, and they have Nabatean heavy archers. Some of the camels managed to survive, even though they're being chased by the legionary cavalry, which did take a bit of damage. Not so much, not that much, but this is a massacre on this side of the land. Alright, let's go back here. I decide to try and slow down the charge and the resulting invasion of the city by the Seleucid Empire, who is forming up ranks here, and these guys, these lines over here, they're good. They're If they manage to move in and start hitting the lines over this side, yes, there are armored desert hoplites. Yes, there are some pike units back here. There are armored shotel, but we will suffer. We will start collapsing because that is our heart. So what do? I put some shotel units here to try and hold the line. I put some armored shotel in reserve. I keep my armored shotel here and move my Royal Kushite archers, slave infantry, and shotel units to try and put pressure on this flank. The pressure is instantly felt, and there's juicy elephants over here, okay? So what I was thinking was get the archers on board, get the archers on the walls, fire arrows into the elephants, get them go berserk. Hopefully they will do some damage to themselves. At this point, he's given up trying to capture the gates, and my archers, they know what they're doing. They are hitting well. We're managing to break through the Torx swordsmen with Shotel warriors, and now a new unit of Silver Shield swordsmen is fighting. Silver Shield swordsmen, they are elite. They are strongest Praetorian Guard. Not quite, they don't have the same armor, but they are very good. They can hold their own very easily. They have 80 armor, I believe, Praetorian Guard. Where are they? Where are the Praetorian Guards? There they are. Knew they were here. They have 90 armor, so it's very close. But these 65 attack, these have 43 attack. They can hold the line, let's put it like that, and they have a very good ability to defend their shield wall formation. And at this point, I take the advantage of his exposed elephants and try to use fire arrows on the Indian war elephants. However, these guys are heavily armored elephants. They are strong, they do not break very easily. I believe there's the armored war elephants back here. So he's trying to hide them. He's trying to make sure that they cannot be hit by the archers. And my plan to try and get these elephants to go berserk did not work, unfortunately. Well, you had to try. And here, the Praetorian Guard are gonna charge in. Now, the Praetorian Guard Pila is strong, and I only have a very depleted unit of Kushite slave infantry and a depleted unit of Shotel warriors. I have some units in reserve, but you know it's not looking too nice for me over there. And over here, my Shotel is fighting against Torx swordsmen. My Shotel are getting some kills, but the Torx swordsmen are doing their job. Shotel warriors over here, they've managed to get quite a few kills, but for some reason my archers were not managing to reach this distance. They were just out of range, unfortunately. So I pulled them back and I tried to reposition. Meanwhile, the Romans are trying to get onto the walls. They're trying to get their archers, Syrian archers, very good archer unit, heavily armored, scale armor. They have decent range and they have precision shot, which does incredible damage. Bloody credible damage. It would have demolished this unit. However, this unit is very well defended. It's on a good wall, has good defenses on each side, and it has a clear shot at that higher elevation at the auxiliary Syrian archers from the side. Apart from that, these Avogati cohort are going nowhere. These Torx spikes, they're gonna do work. The remnants of the camel archers and the camel spearmen are in here. They have barely managed to get any kills unfortunate charge that did not function that well. At this point, I am bringing forward my pikes because I'm realizing this will not last long, and I'm using best of my archers to tin his units down a notch or two, piling more units into this mass, into this grind fest, honestly, and trying to do my best to hold them down. Now I finally realized the situation here, and well, remembered actually, and decided to go up there at the same time. He decided to take his avocado cohort up and throw his pila down at me. Missiles in this game can do wonders. These Shotel warriors, they're still holding on for dear life. They're barely managing, but they're keeping their ground. The Torx swordsmen are breaking through, but now the armored Shotel units, these bastards know what they're doing. They're very strong, they're quite well armored, and they will charge. I mean, a charge will break pretty much anything. They prepare to throw their pila, and after they throw their pila, they will do an amazing charge, and hopefully they will damage the Torx swordsman and kill them down. So it is important to know where the battle lines are forming. So there's a battle line that has formed over here. More troops are being thrown to the meat grinder. Over here is another situation. There's this, which is keeping them from marching forward, and over here he's trying to push his archers up to try and damage the Nabataea and heavy archers. He noticed his situation, so he's trying to move his archers at a higher elevation and shoot down from above, from behind these buildings, which unfortunately their losses were very, very difficult for the auxiliary Cyrillian archers. Now, back here we still have some reserves, but if the Seleucid Empire decided to move forward and charge over here at this point, we would have been caught with our pants down. Unfortunately for them, they did not, and later on, that pays quite well for the defensive forces. Here, they realized that having Kushite archers on the top melted the Silver Shield swordsman, melted the Thorax swordsman, and we pushed simply and fell back. The Shoto warriors will not hold that long against the Praetorian Guard, but the Praetorian Guard are going to be very, very exposed to heavy shot from the Royal Kushite archers. I mean, these firing, this is going to do damage. Look at this Praetorian Guard. They're dropping like flies. Praetorian Guard don't lose units, and they are losing a lot. You can see they're getting shot from behind. They already lost almost 20 men. These are elite units. These cost a lot of gold to recruit. I think it's 1,300. They are not cheap, and they are getting slaughtered. This is a big win because these are cheap units. These archers are almost, I mean, they have not much ammunition left. The last little bit of an ammunition, they're throwing it down. Already, the Praetorian Guards are down 40 men. 40 men in just a few moments. And they're being taken down. Meanwhile, these Avocati cohort are still holding line and trying to take a decision. And the Roman Ballista is trying to soften our ranks in the center and trying to weaken our defenses there for the eventual charge of the Roman army. The Romans are keeping some reserves out here. They're keeping their general out here and keeping their cavalry and some triarii just in case we decide to do another charge back with the remainder of our cavalry. And meanwhile, they realize that they're losing the fight here. This Praetorian Guard unit was wasted. This Praetorian Guard here was heavily damaged, but it is still mostly intact. This was a very big victory for us. Unfortunately for the enemy, they made a big mistake. They should not have given us such a really easy target. But at the same time, again, win in battle of detail. Slowly, piecemeal, one at a time, just destroy as much as you can. These armored Shotel, these pikemen, they're holding the line. Now over here, the enemy did something really smart. He used his pila to the maximal effect. This is not something you can break. You cannot break through pikes and heavy shorter units. So what they did instead, they used the thorax swordsmen, used their pila, and started to whittle down our forces. Unfortunately, I did not realize, and it was my fault there. Apparently, I cannot be everywhere at once. I was mostly focused here. I was very gleefully happy with taking down that Praetorian Guard unit. And at the same time, I realized that since my Kushite archers were out of ammo and he was wasting precious ammo from his Syrian archers on them, at a very bad angle, I was like, ooh, okay, let's make it seem and I'm not realizing. Sadly, I was not realizing I was losing troops on this side. See, he was cycling through his pila, he was moving through forward his units, and at this point, the Kushite pikes they're down to half strength. This is unfortunate. The good side is that the Shotel units are not taking that much damage. At the same time, he realizes that this unit is pretty much dead, leave it on its own, and he starts using his Syrian archers to damage my army over here. At this point, not much is happening except small skirmishes, trying to assess our losses, reform our lines, check what reserves we have left. I have a couple of armored shuttle units here left, which could be useful come what may. My Royal Kushite archers are spent. I still have some units over here with some ammunition, which are my backup. And then I have my general, which I'm keeping in reserve till the last fight of the fight. We decided to commit most of our units to the front lines and keep only a small army in reserve, just as a final last stand, as the city deserves. Over here, I noticed the losses. I mean, look at how many men I lost for no reason whatsoever. So I decided to charge forward, scare off the enemy, and see what can happen. This is a stalemate. If he tries to move, I attack. If I try to move, he'll attack. So there's not much that can be done. The elephants are still staying back and they are not doing much. They're just chilling in their little corner and doing their own thing. And the general of the Roman army decided to move in at the same time with the remainder of his legionary cavalry and trying to do something over there. At the same time, we decide to start doing an offensive. So we charge forward. We charge forward with a little few shorter units I have left just to trigger him to do something to move. We need someone to make the first step. You do the first wrong move, you win, you lose. Now, this was a mistake, waste of ammo. Never ever shoot at cohorts which are in this formation. Never ever waste ammunition. See, most of them are just hitting the shields. There's not much damage done, even if using heavy shot. That was a mistake. It's a good idea to not to put your units on fire at will. Just leave them there and wait for the right opportunity to show itself. And patience is a virtue. Patience, which I did not have over here, and I wasted some minutes trying to break through the stranglehold. I could not fall back, because if I fell back here, all of a sudden we're exposed over here, we're exposed from the back, we're exposed on this side. So this was key to be held, and he decides to charge through with his Torok swordsmen on my armored Shotel warriors. And this is where they do best. These Shotel warriors, they will grind units down. Their damage is insane. It seems he was trying to push through here. His units are trying to push through, but they are getting slaughtered. These Torok's swordsmen are getting murdered by the Royal Kushite the Shotel warriors. I'm very sorry about that. At the same time that is happening, we try and get a better position on the walls, try to repeat the success we had before, and start firing in various angles with our archers. This is an archer battle. His auxiliary Syrian archers are getting slaughtered by the Kushites. However, the Kushites will soon receive fire arrows and get damaged severely by the damage in morale. At this point, trying to hit them when they're in these formations, it's not going to do much. Hitting them at the back of this formation could do damage, but again, it's not that well. I tried to just whittle them down. Killing one or two Praetorian soldiers from a Praetorian Guard unit is gonna do a lot, but not when they're in this formation. Their armor just goes up so much. The auxiliary Syrian archers finally break, and we're seeing some movement. The Romans lost their assault on the walls here. These Nabataean heavy archers got three kills of, I think, Roman slingers got very damaged, and another Syrian archer unit. So they're running low on ammunition. They have not much left, but they have elephants, and this is why we were very worried. Again, trying to shoot down the elephants, trying to make them go berserk, trying to kill the general, trying to do something at these high value units at the back with our remainder and ammunition. We charged with our Shotel warriors, which had already been depleted, just to disrupt the unit formation as best as possible and do as much damage as possible in the situation. He puts his auxiliary units in. Now these are medium spear infantry, but they're very fast, and at the moment we don't have anything that can reach up to them. I am not sure why I decided to shoot them down, but I guess they were the best suited, because the way he's going to try and put them, he's going to try and sneak them through. And the idea that I had was break them as fast as possible, trying to cause something to happen. Meanwhile, these armored shuttle units, I think they're going to their second or third unit of Thorax swordsmen. They are happily munching away at 166 kills. And this is when the Seleucid realized there's no way he's going to break through this section. This battle must be taken to the center of the town. There must be an all-out assault. He's trying to encourage his ally to march forward, and he's taking the first step. He's moving the remainder of his units. They are depleted. They have been fighting the Kush over here. They have been fighting the Kush for the walls. They are tired, but now they're doing their final charge into the city center and trying to capture and break the morale of the defenders. As you can see, they're taking quite a few pilas to their shields. And now the rain of fire just starts going down on them. Over here, there's caravan guard, there's hoplites, there's stakes in the ground. This is not easy to break through. This is a very well defended area, which will not do very well. There was a small skirmish up here. Archers were shooting down the Nabataean Thorax, but apart from that, nothing happened. When the Roman realizes what was happening, they start charging forward the legionary cavalry. However, I moved my armies into position, royal Shotos, armored Shoto warriors, trying to stop them. And he made a mistake. You never stop your cavalry in one place. You keep moving with your cavalry. Once you stop, unfortunately, they die. Cavalry, they're good because they're mobile, but that's about it. I was thinking I could perhaps use my armored Shoto warriors to burst them down with Pila, and there it goes. The legionary cavalry just getting slaughtered. I mean, how is this guy living? They're getting shot from every which angle. My general is... No, the Nabataean heavy archers and the generals, they're firing at them from all angles, and they're breaking them down. That unit was slaughtered to the last. Over here, the armored Shoto warriors, they have been pushed through by these Thorax swordsmen. They have done their job. They have killed and they have slaughtered through units. However, they are slowly dying. They are down to 36 men. They're being attacked from the rear. They're surrounded, but they will keep fighting because that is what they do. That is what they're good at. Over here, this was a really good angle. This is why they didn't want to charge in. We had the archer fire from this angle and easily break anything. There's no charge that can go through these stakes. We were too dug in for them to break through this area. So they either had to commit everything or they commit nothing. It's good that you do start charging forward and attack in waves, but it's a good idea to have the second wave ready to charge in. You do not give the defenders a chance to breathe. And meanwhile, over here, the Kushite archers, I didn't realize he managed to get his avocado cohort up from the side. These Shoto warriors weren't able to stop them. And the armored Shoto warriors trying to save the remainder of the Kushite archers. Unfortunately, they have done their job. They've killed 122. I think there was another unit over here. Where is it? This unit has killed 13. This unit has killed 28. How much does this unit kill? Oh, they're almost dead. There's one soldier left fighting, 231. They did pay for themselves. This Praetorian Guard killed 54. I mean, his units have killed. They are doing well, but at this point, there's not much that can be done. There are usually a couple of slaggers who are trying to run away from the battle at the back over there. This battle's only halfway done. There's more 20 more minutes of fighting and grinding to be done. The Roman cohorts trying to charge through the Rakim Palace Guard, which is out of position. However, the Armored Desert Hoplites are trying to back them up and form a shield wall. The general for the Nabateans is moving forward and providing support. Over here, the remainder of the cavalry is moving up to try and shoot and pepper spray these guys, pepper them with arrows and make them really juicy targets. But these Nakim Palace Guard are taking a lot of Pila. This guy has 4 Pila, this guy has 2. Oof. Oh wow. Oh they are they're not doing that well. Meanwhile, Moltorok swordsmen are coming up this way, and unfortunately, my archers got caught out of position with the little ammunition they had left. Very valuable ammunition, because one must remember they have elephants. Now, this was good for us that they tried to charge the elephants through here. These stakes do a lot of damage to mounted units, and they are, as you can see, the very expensive, very well armored, engine heavy elephants are getting killed. They're dying on the stake. The Indian war elephants as well. So I think basically 4 elephants died in this part. And it's good to idea to keep an eye on them for what's gonna happen. Because this guy knows how to use elephants. If you remember what happened in the last game, you see what's happening now. Now, I thought it was a good idea to reinforce this area with more armor total because I did not want to lose this location. It was providing us such good pressure on the Seleucids, but the Seleucids realize that they need to keep it up the pressure and they're charging forward the remainder troops that they have. They have a fresh unit of Silver Shield Swordsmen, which is using its Pila and emptying everything it has had. Nabatean archers are firing point blank range and they're trying to kill. Oh, this is a really bad charge. The Caravan Guard, yes, Caravan Guard, they have been caught from the side. They have very good shields. They absorb a lot of archer fire, but they're nothing when it comes to fight against Silver Shield Swordsmen. These armored Shoto warrior units are holding their own against the Torok swordsmen. And look at these cavalry, the Azak Knights. These are really good heavy melee cavalry. They're coming across and they're going to try and break through. These armored Shoto are putting themselves in position to try and hold the charge. On this side, we finally lost the wall. There were heavy losses. The Roman and Seleucid armies lost a lot of their units. The Avogato cohort, Praetorian Guard units, etc. The Silver Shield Sword, no, Torok Swordsmen charge down here and get annihilated. And unfortunately, they also managed to get a lot of our Pila, a lot of our units out of position. And that was not a good idea for us. This unit, even though it got demolished quite instantly, it did the job it needed to do. It took the Pila, it took our missiles, because we need our missiles to kill these, and they know it. So they're trying their best to deplete our forces, so we're too weak to be able to hold off the charge against the elephants. The archers, my general, is trying to shoot down as much as it can and damage as much as it can. We noticed that the caravan guard was slaughtered and it's getting demolished, so we tried and supporting it by attacking Silver Shield Swordmen. Now you need to see this as like knights. They charge through anything. They flatten our units, completely going over our elites, armored total units, and charging straight through not one, not two, but 3 entire units of Shoto armored Shoto units. And we're trying desperately to stop them down, but these have high impact. They can't stay long in battle. They are very well armored. They're getting supported by legionary cavalry. Meanwhile, the Syrian heavy archers, the Praetorian Guard, they're moving in. They're coming to support this flank. I fall back with the remainder of my Kushite soldiers. I'm trying to hold back and trying to control this area, but the Azak Knights unfortunately break through. In retrospect, I should have retreated. I should have fallen back, formed a shield wall over here, and tried to hold them over these stone beds. However, I was out for blood. I wanted to push. I wanted to kill them and win the battle, because it seemed as if we did not hold the square, we might have started to lose, because they were overwhelming us. My Kushite pikes have pushed forward, yes, but over here we were getting depleted. Our units were tired. They were getting exhausted. Slowly but surely, they were pushing through forward to our lines. And look how much they have left. Almost all of our units are engaged or have been engaged. We have one, two units which have not fought in this battle. Yes, there were a couple units up here. Yes, there were a couple of units which don't engage. The Nabataean pikemen and this Nabataean, but they're depleted. They have been fighting the entire game. We have some cavalry left. They have more than we can handle. It was good that these silver shield swordsmen were slowly getting tuned up, but unfortunately for us, they gave me something which I could not resist. They gave me the Syrian heavy archers. They were out in the open, and my armored total units get surrounded by the Aztec knights. At this point, they have two units of quite heavy elephants, which are quite in good shape. They have again cavalry. They have auxiliary infantry, more triarii. They have a Vocati cohort and silver shield swordsmen and thorax swordsmen engaged on our front line. But our front line, look at this. There are holes everywhere. Yes, there are some Kushite pikes over here. Yes, there are some heavy archers that can hold the line against a charge. But apart from that, we do not have much left. The units are slowly getting carved up. All of them are low on numbers. Yeah, just depleted our units, depleted our formations, and they were doing their best to try and reform a line over here. I tried to retreat, and I was telling my ally, please come help, bring forward your camel spearmen, let us try and remove this exact knights. These guys, they did work. They killed 64 Shotel units, armored Shotel units, and these were the best units I had. At this point, I was quite confident I could win the fight given enough time. But it's not necessarily in our favor. I was not noticing the balance of power was quite honestly not that great. So after we break the last of their units, the legionary cavalry there, my ally decided to run forward and put pressure on this area because we could not let them keep the pace of the battle in their hands. We had to do something. We had to take back control of the fight, or else they were going to run us down. Because even though we have quite a few units, they're all depleted, they still have the elephants. And elephants in this game can turn a game around, as you saw last game. The one group of elephants completely annihilating half of my army. They killed over 700 soldiers, just one group of elephants, and this time we had two. So it was quite difficult. And we were playing these games back to back. And this is where I decided to charge forward. A full fresh unit of Shotel units, the remainder of the cavalry, spearman cavalry. This was do or die. I knew in a close melee, I would have managed to completely annihilate them. We just needed to capture them, to hold them in position, and that is what the cavalry spearmen were gonna do. They charge at the back of these units, they do some damage, but they start tackling down the Aztec Knights. And the Aztec Knights are moving forward, my Shotel, they're charging in, spears at the ready, and the Aztec Knights finally start falling down. They're down at half strength, and the armored Shotel unit is trying to rip them to shreds. He's trying to escape, but if he escapes here, these stake walls will not allow him to come back in. So he's trying his best to escape from this side, and that is when he moves in his Praetorian Guard. All of these units, it's a fast-moving battle. We've managed to hold the line here. We're trying to reform with little that we have left, and trying to restructure the units as best as we can in case they do one last charge with what they have. Now again, we weren't sure if our soldiers would hold because they were tired, but as one does, it's the heat of the battle. I decided to charge in because I saw this unit of Praetorian Guard. Crushing that would severely put the balance of power into our favor, and we would be able to take back the tide of battle, push forward, and perhaps even completely surround this central location. In fact, these Praetorian Guards are getting attacked in the rear. They're losing decisively. They're surrounded. They have soldiers everywhere. They have a way to retreat, but it's through here. And this was his last unit of Syrian archers, which are completely breaking their routing. This is a really big win. They were still quite fresh. Yes, they had 800 kills, but Syrian archers can sometimes get up to 200 kills very easily. So it was a very big win for us. He brings the Triara in. He brings the soldiers in. He's bringing his general to try and support his units. The legionary cavalry are charging in. But now that the armored chotel are in melee, that they have their grips on you, nothing can get away from them. The Azak Knights come back. This is a massacre. The Shotor are surrounded themselves now, but I'm quite confident. I was quite confident at the time that they can do their job and they can slaughter everyone. They all have decent number of kills. They're quite fresh, and in fact, the Legionary Cavalry breaks. The Triarii are breaking. The Praetorian Guard are breaking. Everything is coming to our end. Their general dies quite over here. And did he die? I'm pretty sure at some point this general dies in this melee over here. And apart from that, my ally is sending armored hoplites to try and deal with the cavalry as fast as possible. Because these guys could escape unless they have something with spears that takes them down. But even then, they are dying. And that's it. That's the end of it. Trying to kill this general. The general is charging, cycle charging into the units, but soon it will die, and the battle over this side will be in our favor. Over here, it was just a madness. Everyone just piling in troops, trying to do their best and destroy the other. It's a battle of survival over commitment. But what's coming in the distance? What is this? What are these? These are Indian war elephants. These are Indian war elephants. And where are they going? Unfortunately, I was too focused on this side, too focused trying to reform my lines to realize that there are Indian war elephants coming. These are three. This armored shooter unit's half strength. This armored shooter unit's quite depleted, but this one is pretty much at full strength. And look at this. Look at these monstrous behemoths charging into the line. I noticed far too late. I tried to throw the pila, but it's too late for me. My unit gets slaughtered. The elephants just smash through the lines and start killing indiscriminately. 40 kills just from the charge. This over here, it's the end. We try and charge everything in as possible, trying to tie them down, because once you stop them moving, they can be taken down, but they're very difficult. They're large unit models. They can do damage, and they have done damage. And now we're trying to run away, and that's the worst thing we could have done. We thought they had disengaged, but they come straight back at us. They run through our units. So how many now? 44, 45, 46, 50. They're going up very fast. They're running. They're rampaging through. And they're killing our elite units. At this point, the balance of power was in our favor. But they are massacring our reserves, the remainder of our units. There's nothing we can do here. We try shoot them down with the remainder of our ammunition, but that's it. 3 whole units, let's say 2 whole units of shuttle units slaughtered. Look at the carnage. Look at the carnage over here. Over here, this square is just littered with bodies and the dead. The dead trying to defend the city. The Praetorian Guard who are attacking the Silver Shield Swordsmen, the Thorax Swordsmen. The charge over here, shuttle units, but they're not done. They're elephants. They have started to fall, yes, but they are not done because they have another fresh units of elephants. Indian armored elephants. These are even stronger. These are even better. These elephants we managed to take down with our archers, and they are berserking, but they killed 226 men with one decent charge. And over here, they have they're quite split, so we couldn't finish them completely. So we let them go. They're out of control. They're exhausted, but they've done their duty. They have killed more than we could handle to lose. At this point, Kush is down to 1 unit of pikemen, 1 unit of shoto, 1 unit of Royal Kushite archers, which are very heavily depleted, and they have not done much because they were shooting at high value, high armored units for all the game. Now, what's left on the battlefield? Let's take stock. There's the Agamma cavalry, heavy shock cavalry. There is the Indian armored elephants. There's the Indian war elephants. So there are two elephants here. Then there are one, two, three, four, five, six, seven. So it's divided by two. Seven elephants here, two elephants here. That's nine elephants, and nine elephants can change the game completely. We don't have enough units to cover this breach. We're panicking, trying to figure out the best way to shoot down the elephants. Unfortunately, we would not have managed to make it here in time. We did not have the troops needed. At the same time, the remaining evacuati cohort, auxiliary infantry, what's left of the Roman mighty force is making its way forward. And my ally is trying to reform his ranks, reform his lines, and trying to hold down the fort. In retrospect, next time the defense might be held here, it could be better, because then we could defend both these angles at the same time. But if I remember right, they didn't give us enough time to set up our units because they just started, which is very rude to do when you're playing, trying to break them. But unfortunately, they were not hitting. When you play, always ask, "Are you ready? Did you set up your defenses? Did you finish preparing for the fight?" That's the polite etiquette to do. It's the good thing to do, and we all know that is what one must do. Now, unfortunately for them, they're very low on units. Unfortunately for us, all of their units are heavy mobility, and we don't have anything to catch them. We have some shuttle units. They are, yes, very good. Yes, they are very fresh. They're full of pila to throw, but they get one or two shots, and that's about it. Our My general was very low on ammunition, and my pikemen were just trying to hold this part. Now, in retrospect, I could have retreated them, but I did not, and because I was worried that they might charge over here, I was panicking at this point. There was not much I could think of. These elephants finally start falling. There's one elephant left, but there's nothing we can do against these guys. These guys, I mean, they're wearing scale armor, they have bronze covered, plated heads. There's not much we can do. And the Agamma cavalry, his general unit, is coming forward. He's moving it in between the houses. He's trying to find the best position to charge. And I'm trying to find a location where I can hold off from both angles. Because the cavalry and the elephants are coming and they are angry. They are very angry. I must say that the people we were fighting against were good sports, and they were chatting and telling us. I remember over here when we were fighting, he was saying Kush are broken, that they're impossible to defeat because his general dies very soon over here, and but I mean his elephants are just going berserk. I bring back my Kushite pikes to try and hold them from charging into our rear. And I think at this point, the Matt, the username said, "I have a zoo. I have made a zoo, and this is my zoo." And because he took control of this location, my general falls over here. His general is still alive, actually. Yes, it's still alive, but mine just gets slaughtered by the Indian elephants. I'm trying to position my shuttle units so they can shoot their pila and maybe, and just maybe, kill the Indian armored elephants. But it doesn't seem to be working. My Kushite pikes are trying to form a line, trying to perhaps get, I mean, this unit of armored shuttle just down to 40 men in a few moments. The Indian armored elephants are so good. The positioning, the micro that was needed to control this was just incredible. I'm trying to get my pikes to form a position, but it did not happen. Over here, my ally was finally destroying the remainder forces of the Romans. The Romans were all out. They had lost their general. They had lost their remainder elite forces. They were just fighting with the last remaining few spearmen. I did not realize I had some shuttle units over here that had survived. they were probably broken and they regained their, yeah, finally his general breaks, but his elephants are still going. I managed to trap one over here and kill it with the pikeman, but it I mean this one just backed into the pikes and killed them. Perhaps this one would fall. No. And they're coming back, they're coming back, they're circling, they're circling, they're circling. And above that, he was actually managing to shoot down the pikeman. At this point, there's not much left to do or see. He's gonna charge in the back, and they're gone. The Kushite pikes. Oh my god. Oh, one of them died. At least. The Kushite pikes. 6 Kushite pikes left. 8 Royal Shoto warriors. And meanwhile, there are 5 elephants just circling and fighting at their heart's content. But the battle is turning into our favor. They do have 5 elephants and have a dozen of auxiliary infantry left. But on our side, we had a fresh unit of Thorax, hoplites, hoplite pikemen, which still had not died, and these were all anti-cavalry units. Now, it's important to note that my ally decided to hide behind the stakes. He saw the elephants charging. My brave remaining 21 men of Shoto warriors charged the elephants, who have wrecked my forces. Again, getting wrecked by elephants. I managed to kill one more elephant, who now at this point they are very tired. Their general is dead. Their allies are gone. They are the only people left in an enemy city. On top of elephants, they are just chilling at the city center. They are just minding their own business, drinking some water. No, they destroyed the pools. The pools of water have been destroyed. And they're running down the remaining of Shoto forces. My ally forms a couple of lines of defense and is trying to get his units to rest because they were very tired. They're still winded, in fact, and very tired units. He's trying to figure out a way he can kill the Indian elephants. One of the Indian elephants glitches out and runs all the way into this corner, trying to follow these Shota warriors. Which, what the hell is that? What? What are they doing? They're just, they're just, what? But look at this guy. He's just walking up the walls like Jesus. Oh, fun stuff, fun stuff. Now they're running away and they're trying to just get away from the elephant. But the elephant is stuck here. Oh, well, no, no. The elephant's gonna do parkour. The elephant can do hardcore parkour. And all of a sudden he fights himself over this wall. That is so strange. There's a bit of conversation going on between the beleaguered attackers and beleaguered defenders. They are both very tired. It's been an hour, but there's only 1 minute, 20 seconds left in this battle, and let's see what shall happen. The fight is not over yet. These elephants could yet bring victory to the Seleucid Empire. So let's fast forward a bit. At this point, my ally just grabs all his army and just charges forward. No craps given. He forms a line and he starts marching forward. There's nothing left to do. If they keep this down, they cannot capture it because they don't have any footmen. Technically speaking, the fight could have won it just by positioning ourselves and running away from their elephants, but the elephants, now they're tired. They're exhausted. They don't have a general. And they're going forward with their fight. And they're managing to break down the armored elephants, and they finally won the fight. And that's it. The elephants are dead, and it's been a costly victory and a replay. It has been a tough, hard fight. Every unit got its fair share of kills. with the exception of this pike unit, which was completely slaughtered by the Torix pila that was being thrown. Kamikaze did really well. Unfortunately, his initial charge did not yield results, but his other units did sure as hell pay for themselves. And meanwhile, the Torok swordsmen, yes, they did a bit of damage here and there, but the real stars of this battle were once again Indian war elephants and Agamna cavalry. Azat knights, they held their own, they held their fast. The Romans did well. Their unfortunate Praetorian Guard was slaughtered. Usually, Praetorian Guards is where you get the most value. They got quite good value from their Afghati cohort, but their auxiliary Syrian archers were slaughtered at the start. Their auxiliary infantry barely managed to do anything, and their Balearic Singers and Legionary Cavalry got quite a few kills, valuable kills, because they were running around and hitting us in the back. Thank you for watching, guys. I'll be back next Tuesday with more Rome 2 battles. And if you'd like, I could also try and get you guys maybe Warhammer 2, which I'm playing quite a bit. And just tell me in the comments down below. Don't subscribe, like, however they call it. And yeah, if you're enjoying these videos, please tell me. Looking forward to hear your commentary. If you manage to hold the entire hour through, I would be very much impressed. And thanks very much. Have a good evening, morning, or afternoon, wherever you are. Doodles.